Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. So, Monday, happy Easter for those of you who celebrate Easter. Had a great weekend. You guys watched the bunny being created on Saturday and now it's Monday. So, I've just had a great time with family and friends and lots of Easter eggs, and now I'm back on my bunny. And there's been an issue. Bunny has been very naughty. Bunny dived headfirst into some tea. I don't know what entered his brain. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was a good decision or not. Let me bring you up to speed. So after I finished making the video for Saturday, Bunny sat for a little while in calico colours, sitting in his bits on this tea towel. And it was just matchy-matchy. I was so disappointed with it. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do to make this pop? It just felt like, I don't know, it just wasn't right. So in my wisdom, I thought, let's do some tea dyeing. So Bunny jumped into the tea. And that's what Bunny looks like now. And I don't know, have I done the wrong thing? So that's what today's video is about. Is Bunny wrong, and should he be remade back into the original colour? Have I stepped outside my comfort zone of calico and created a bunny that just isn't working? So I was just disappointed. But that tea dye, I grabbed some pieces of random things and just threw it in the tea. And I love what happened with this piece. Now this piece I've got in mind to use as my vase from which the flowers come from. Now let me grab the book. Now remember, Sue Stitchury. This is my inspiration. I love this piece. I've admired it for ages. I've been in and out of this book so many times. I've been working with my little cousin making these flowers, and I made a bunch of these for Susanna as my chocolates and flowers for Susanna, and I just love them. They're so simple. I can sit and stitch them. It's like English paper piecing without the intensity of trying to get your points all matched up. So I think I've found my groove, a little less pressure than hexagons. Having said that, I'll be doing a few hexagons on this piece, I think. So anyway, that piece there, I love that idea of having that point of which out come the flowers. And the theory is Bunny would somehow be sitting near this. And then I can do some more needle turn applique. Now remember, the needle turn applique process is following along with Kathryn, K3n Cloth Tails. Kathryn showed us a few weeks ago of how to prep your pieces by doing the actual turning, tucking, and stitching it down. So then you have all these elements just ready to stitch. You're not doing it on the fabric. There's a link below to the video. It was like a light bulb came on for me. As I said in Saturday's video, years of doing this, I'm a bit burnt out on it. The other book I love, and I bought purely because of the cover, is this. But this needle turn applique, I'm like, oh my goodness, don't go down that rabbit hole. So I've been admiring this and this. And then when Kathryn showed us that we can do it sitting somewhere and just prep the pieces with needle and thread, then come and put it all together, I just, blew my mind. So back to the dyeing of fabric debacle. Or is it? I don't know, can't decide. That is some more calico that went in just to have some little extra bits. This is a piece of linen that went in. I love this colour. I wish Bunny had have come out that colour. But then I was like, well, it's so similar to that colour. Like, I wouldn't have achieved anything. See, this is, I'm just going round and round in circles at the moment. But I'm determined to get a plan. By the end of this video, I will know what the hell I'm doing and find some peace and be moving forward. So I'm just going to bring you up to speed where my head is at. Now, that's what that was prior to being dyed. So that's not needed because it's now out of it. So what I've ended up with is these bits that are all similar tones and on a tea towel that it just still doesn't work. So it didn't work with the original bunny. Now bunny's this colour. It still doesn't work. So I was so disappointed because I really wanted to do some stitching on it. So anyway, after tromping around the place a bit thinking, what have I done? How's this project going to get started? I then thought, well, go get another tea towel girl. And I found this one. The other issue I've got is what colour fabrics are going to join the bunny. So I went from looking at brights like, actually, I think I've got a flower still here from Susanna's bunch. Hang on. Yeah, I do. That's the flower that was part of Susanna's bunch of flowers. And see how it's like bright and poppy and pinks and beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The bunny in the calico colour, it works. But I just didn't really feel the brights. I think in the other video, Saturday's video, I still hadn't decided really on the fabrics. So I went through my cupboards. Brights are out. So we're not doing brights. Yeah, I'm slowly getting to a point of starting this, I think. But I'm in no rush either because these are big decisions. In the search for my fabrics, I found this. Now, do you remember when a lovely lady gave to a friend of mine a heap of teddy bear patterns, and in amongst it was a teddy bear fabric, a book of a quilt that she must have made. Well, not a book, it was a photocopy of pages of patterns. And in the very back, I found this. So it must have been a quilt based on these blocks. She had one spare, or this was the test, and a couple little bits of fabric. So this has been sort of just stashed away for maybe a rainy day. Didn't know what I was going to do on it. And I thought, well, if I go this with this red stripe, here's my colour palette. So this is where I'm going to go. The olive, the reds, the pinks, this tea-dyed looking colour. So now when I bring Bunny back, he works. And on this. So I feel settled. I feel like, guys, we've got somewhere to go. That also works. So we've got somewhere to go. Now, the other thing I need to have a think about is, I think the reason I love this piece is there's these pieces of old quilt and also pieces of linen. Like looks like a table runner going through here, because you can see a piece of lace there and a piece of lace here. So this is a mix of all sorts of fabrics, bits of quilt, bits of the panel underneath, and then this piece through here. So before I get carried away on, I guess, building the image, I need to think a little bit more about the tea towel and its layers. So that's where I'm at today. The other thing I need to think about is this quilted look. So there's a lot of stitching in here to build up my base before I even get to this. So I think where I'm at is I've got my colour palette sorted out. I know Bunny's going somewhere around the base of this piece. And I know my bunch of flowers, let's call it a bunch of flowers, is coming out of this pocket. So that can sort of hang down a little bit. We'll stitch it down and out it comes. Now, to get that quilted look, I dug out some pieces of wadding. This is a wool cotton blend that I used to use in my quilts, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm pretty pleased that I'm going to be using it because I like my base fabrics to feel quite sturdy in my hand. Now there's no reason why you can't, let me put my bunny bits over there, you can't stitch straight into your linen cloth, by all means. But I must say, I like the feel of that in my hands. I just feel like I'm getting a little bit more to hang on to. So I'm very much going to put a piece of this in behind, and that will help me get that quilted look that is in these. I have a few quilted pieces in my stash, but none of them are a colour palette. Look, I need to put Bunny in a clip. I am going to get to the point of stitching Bunny on, and I'm going to be missing a leg or an ear. So let's just get Bunny sorted. I'd love to stitch him on right now, but I need him to sit on something. So I'm like, just hold the horses. You've got your rabbit. He'll happen. Let me just grab a little ball clip. I love how the fabric too's gone all wrinkled because it's been washed. Man, and I've rinsed that so many times to try and push back. It was pinker. Oh my goodness, I could have cried. I'm still not 100% sure that I love him, but he's staying for now. I think he'll work. By the time we embroider him and muck around with him, he'll be fine. But boy, was I angry at Bunny for jumping into that pot of tea. Seriously. He's a bad bunny. Bad bunny. All right, Bunny is secure, and these little morsels are secure. The other thing I've got, which I should grab, where is a bull clip without it being huge, is some French General fabric. I should put my nose in that pile because that certainly would give me some more fabrics. Anyway, where was I? The background. We need to work on our background before we start putting all our cool things on top. So that's where I'm at, which will be good because that'll give me something to stitch and prep. Tea towel with white stripe, no longer. It's just not going to work. Tea towel with red stripes, you are it. Look, there's a little laundry tag on there. Super, super cool. So I've got some scrappy bits of this that I'm going to use up. Let's see. I need to actually go and get myself another couple meters of this because I'm slowly, you know, using it all. But it's good to be able to get rid of all these offcuts that come from making quilts. Which side do you put it on? Does it matter? That side feels better on my hand, so that's the side that it's going to be. So all I'm going to do, is that going to fit? Oh, so close. Yeah, that'll fit. All right. I'll have to go rummaging. I'm sure there'll be more of it around, but this is a good start. Oh, how close. Oh, wow. What I might do is I'm just going to trim that a little bit. And we'll just do, there's a little bit of stretch in this stuff. So I think with a little bit of easing it, I'll get to the boundaries of the tea towel pretty well. I'll just trim that little bit. I'll leave it at that for now, and I'm just going to run a slip stitch up there or something just to bring it together. Riveting viewing for you, but I just want to show you how I put a batting or wadding on the back of my piece if I'm using scraps. I do have some bigger pieces of felt and things like that, wool felt, but I don't know, the bunny panel is going to be a mishmash of all the bits that don't quite have a home, I think, is what bunny's going to be about. So I'm just going to do a little stitch on these two edges to bring this together. So I'll get that sorted. And then I will, off camera, I won't bore you guys with it. I'm going to start invisible stitching this down to the tea towel. And we will be ready to rock and roll. The other thing too is getting back to the fabrics and how I went from brights, which, I don't know, when you see Easter patterns, they're often those bright yellows, bright blues, bright greens. I just didn't feel like doing that. I've got some lovely little packs of fabric, but I'll show you a pack of fabric that I have in mind as soon as I've done this, but I don't know, I'm being drawn to French General, and I'm pretty sure in that tub is a panel which would give me elements of which I could embroider and stitch. Sort of just popped into my brain. I made the rabbit out of it, the Hendricks the Hare. Remember that fabric pack? So there's a panel in there, a printed panel, and we used portions of it. Susanna did it with me. She made one as well, and we both used bits of this panel to get Hendricks the Hare built, and it was the reds and the tones. That's probably why I'm so drawn to that cover. So I need to put my nose into the French General fabric. There is another pack of fabric that's been rolling around with Bunny as well. I think it's Three Sisters Altair is the name of it, but don't quote me on that. I'll grab the box. I'm nearly done here. Just want to join this. So that's how you can use some scraps up. Pretty sure I've got a couple more laying around. Whether it's enough to get to the end, I don't know. I might end up having to actually buy some of this batting, but this is a start. Be good to use it. Nearly at the bottom. Look at that. Look at that little tin there. Oh my goodness. I really think I'm a red girl. Don't know. I just seem to meander around red and cream and a hint of blue, but not a lot. Okay, I'm nearly to the bottom. Alrighty. So now I've patched together some scraps. I'm happy about that. It's good when you use your bits, isn't it? Alrighty. So this project will just pop up here and there, Mr. Bunny. But at the moment, being the Easter weekend, I figured great project, one thing to focus on, a couple videos in a row will get us kick-started, and then he can join the party whenever we have something else for Mr. Bunny. So I'm just going to lightly pin that. But as I said, I'll come back and invisible stitch this on, and then it's ready. So this will help me get that quilted feel when I don't have at least pieces of quilt, which I pretty much don't. None of them matched, all these scrappy bits of quilt I've got. So I'm going to have to create that look. And, you know, not everyone can get hold of these old pieces. And when you do, they can be so expensive in packs. See, some of mine are real fresh colours. So we're going to create that feel. See how when she's got in around the flower, she's sort of quilted it but gone around the flower. So she's changed the nap of it, which I think really helps. But down here, it's very lineal. This one here, she's gone this way. So if these were pieces of quilt, which I suspect they may have been, they would have already been quilted and she's placed them on there and, you know, invisible stitched it all together. If they weren't, and this is just a beautiful piece of fabric, she's done like thickened it up and quilted. You know, there is full instructions in here. Maybe I should read the instructions. The girl never reads instructions. She just likes to wing it. Where is it? That's what I mean by fresh colours, that Easter feel. No, I didn't feel like doing that. Very fresh. Where are you? So how's she? So there's batting, scraps for the background, scraps of fabrics for the vases, lace yo-yos, threads, yeah, it's fabrics. Well, that's fantastic news, because for those of us that don't have chunks of old quilt that make it work, so she's needle turned that and then quilted over. Ah, beautiful. All right, so our instinct is right. We're on the right track. So we're going to turn this over. There's some lines, marks on it. So the plan is fabric. We need some pretty pieces of fabric. Where do we go from this point? Hang on, let's get Bunny back. We're definitely going to use that as my vase. So I think I need to, where's that batting finish? About halfway up. Okay, so I can't muck around any higher than the fold, because that batting wasn't even, no, it's back here. There is as far as the batting goes. It goes a little bit higher this side, but there's no batting here. About where that shadow is, there's no batting. So, Corrine, be careful. So the vase. I'm feeling like I'm going to have the vase a little bit off center, and that'll give room for Bunny to be frolicking down here. And my flowers then can go high on the one side and swish over on the other side. So where's a piece of paper? Oh, I don't have a piece of paper. Yes, I do. Here's my little notebook. Let's have a quick sketch, guys. Okay, so what I'm thinking, if this is my tea towel, we've got a large rectangle, give or take straight lines or so. So if I put the base of my vase here, Bunny is in here, and we can do things around Bunny, but let's have the plant or the flowers coming out up here and over here like that sort of shape. So it's a little bit off center, and Bunny has his own little corner to play with there. So that's the plan. Alrighty. At least now you guys have got a bit of a vision of what's in my head. So let's just pull this back into view. We've got our pot for the vase. The other thing is I really want to use this patch that this lady has made. Let's give it a home. I'd say these will be used as well. We might cut some leaves out of them, or don't have a lot of it, but we'll come back to that. There's a few little morsels there that I think will be very handy. So I want to use this patch in the process of building our background. Do we do that or we do that? Oh, for goodness sakes. Isn't it hilarious? There was another piece of fabric here that we dyed. Let's find a home for that. That's just building up the layers that can be quilted. I don't want to cover the thingy. Come up a little bit. I want to see the tea towel, so I sort of want to patch in and then see all these edges. Maybe that. Is that a start? Looks like a start. Now if Bunny is frolicking here, that would give him a bit of a background, but is it the correct background? Where's Bunny? Yeah, I don't mind it actually. Gives him something. Little arms. Is it all in the right height? Oh, I couldn't believe it when he come out of the tea and I'm like, oh, what have I done? Is that colour nice? I feel like I might be covering this patch a little bit too much. He's a funny little bunny. Yeah, I'm covering this beautiful patch too much. So that, if that's Bunny's home, that patch can't be there. I've got to bring it up. I don't want to not see it. Now let's bring Bunny back. I'm okay with that now. The other thing I thought of is going for a hunt for a piece of clothing. Who is it? Mandy Patouli's book. She always has, well, not always, but in some pieces she has gorgeous pieces of a linen shirt or a sleeve or a cuff or something. So I actually thought about adding a piece of clothing behind it all, but I haven't found anything yet. Something might pop out at me, but at the moment I don't have anything. There's Bunny. That's better. Let me just zoom up a little bit, guys. Which I guess brings me to, does Bunny stay on that background or do we pop something in under him? Let me grab my stash of, you know what? I need to get those fabrics. All right, I'm gonna, my tin, which has the Altair fabric in it, I'm just gonna grab that. Hang on, guys. And I need to grab the French General fabric too. We need to put our nose in there before we get too. Okay, here it is. French General. See, that's French General. That's leftovers from the Hendricks the Hare. But first, this pack of fabric is the one that I had in mind for the whole piece. And I've got a jelly roll in here. And that's the name of it, The Three Sisters. So I picked this up at Patchwork on Palace in Maryborough, probably a year ago. Look at that. See, these are like colours I would never have put together. That's why I like buying these packs every so often. They're just, I don't know, purples into the greys, into those turquoises. Like, it's just gorgeous. And if you were to make a quilt or something with that, guaranteed, be beautiful. And then this one is the rusts and the creams. Just gorgeous. You can see I'm attracted to that sort of tone. But before we go, that's the pack. Like, it works with that. I can certainly nibble into it, but I don't know. I think this is a project in itself, something one day. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use it. Nope. I'm going to end up cutting into it and have a hang of a mess, and I think I've got enough stuff around me. Let's have a look in Hendricks the Hare's leftover pot. Let's have a look. So this is the panel I was talking about. Oh, hello. So Hendricks the Hare, if you haven't watched that series, he's a big rabbit. You see this missing bit here? That panel there was cut up and used to embellish Hendricks the Hare. Susanna had this bit down his ears and embroidered it, and that was part of the construction of his ears. I'll link a video below of that, the playlist for Hendricks the Hare. So this panel from French General has a couple pieces on it, like, look at that. How can we build this in? Oh, look at that. A sampler. Can you hear the cogs turning? You know what this would be good for? After Easter, I want to have a play with the little bag that Susanna made a month or so ago, and she did fabric packs up for it. Let me just grab that pattern. Hang on, guys. All right. Okay. Oh my goodness. So this Easter weekend, we're literally kicking off some more projects. This is the little pouch, the drawstring scrappy pouch that Susanna made on 2 video series. She made it years ago, then she revisited it. She made some packs, and a heap of you got the packs, and you've all been showing us photos of your scrappy bag on our Facebook group, which Susanna, Tia, and I from Calm Creations is Tia. The 3 of us are sort of running this Facebook page together. So I said to Susanna, once I get over Easter and settle back into the season of the rest of the year, I will visit your pattern. It's technically, there's no pattern as such. It's really simple. It's a big rectangle. I've even got my rectangle ready. This is the base. And Susanna puts strips of fabrics together via the sewing machine. She then cuts them into strips, which creates squares, and then reattaches them all to cover this panel, which from the measurements I got from Susanna, the strips are 3 inches by 12 inches. And then once they're all joined together, cut again, joined together, they create a panel of checkers. It's just lots and lots of squares, and then she stitches and embellishes it. So that's a project coming. There is no pattern to purchase. It's just watch the video and you can figure it out, and we tell you all the details. Susanna's got 2 videos out already on that series. And then on the bottom of the little pouch underneath it, she draws it all in with a circle of fabric to create the base. So it's just a circle, that rectangle is attached to it, then you turn over the top to create a tunnel for a cord to go through, which helps you drawstring it. It's really, really simple. So there's no pattern as such, it's just very simple. And the video series, like I said, Susanna does, tells you how to make it. I'll link that below. Let me make a note. Goodness me. Otherwise I will forget. So we want Scrappy Bag and we want Hendricks joined. So if you're interested, go and check out those videos because it sort of is what I'm yabbering on about here. So one day, very, very soon, I'm going to have a crack at making that. Got my panel and I'm ready to go. What colour that's going to be, I don't know, but you know, this here, I'm thinking I could use this because it's the squares. Might have to modify things a little bit, but I'm going to use that. Okay, sidetracked. I'm going to cut that panel out. I was wondering when we got this piece. Oh, I don't know. When did we get it? Where do you cut these panels? There. When I got this panel, I thought, when am I ever going to use that sampler? So let's nip it out and put it with the Susanna project. I know quite a few of you bought this panel. It's from Moda. These fabrics are Blackbird design. And that panel, French General, there we go. There's the details. It's still available out there if you did want to grab it. It's one of those panels that I think could be many, many projects. So it's always handy to have them kicking around. Let's get up here and, oh my goodness, this Easter weekend video series of the bunny, morsels, morsels of bits and pieces going into things. And I think once you start joining this whole hand sewing, slow stitch world, and you're new and you don't have many fabrics, materials and that, just meander across whatever takes your fancy and you'll be surprised that your collection will start to be within your color palette. You may venture between purple, blue, red and yellow, but you'll start to notice that you will pick up certain blues, certain yellows, certain pinks, certain, you know, greens, and they will potentially work together, or 2 or 3 of them will complement. There we go. Will complement each other. So you find that you'll sort of, no, what am I trying to say? You'll drift between your fabrics when you start to sort of collect. Yep, that is going to make the formation of the squares. Maybe, hang on, hold your horses. Let's be lazy. Can I, oh goodness, here we go. We're planning another project and I haven't even got this one off the ground yet. Goodness sakes. Maybe we can use a jelly roll. Look at that. If there's a little seam there, you can just see the print is just inside that. If I did a tiny itty bitty seam, I could scatter these squares in amongst these fabrics and make my pouch a mishmash of all of this. Now I can't get it in there. Oh my goodness sakes, come on. See, this is what happens once you mess with a jelly roll. Oh, don't unravel. Once you mess with a jelly roll, they explode. Stay in there, you beautiful thing. I just like looking at it. So yeah, I'm going to make my bag a collection of these. That then allows me to play with thread colours potentially here, or maybe it'll be too much and I need to pick one colour and just stay in that. There you go. If you have this panel and you have a jelly roll you haven't cracked into, it's potentially a good drawstring bag, because Susanna's pattern is these lines which then get cut up into squares. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to put that and that with that pattern. Okay, at least that gets that fabric out of my hair. So what do we got left? We've got 2 panels. Merci, thank you, and bonjour. Okay, let's keep digging. Let's fold that up. I think I'm in the right fabric for my bunny panel. I'm feeling a lot happier about the tones of which I can see. I'm just trying to fold this fabric up in front of me. So let's put this guy away for now. Maybe this could be used. I don't know. Sort of not really a bunch of fabric, but let's see what we've got in here. Now these are left from the hare. And on cue, see these, I backed them onto the calico to give them a bit of sturdiness for Hendrik, but that could be needle turned and added to this panel. These could become part of the flowers. Okay. What else have we got in here? So we've got a big piece of fabric, another big piece. So these would be good for patches that could be stitched. Scraps, lots of scraps, which is a good thing. And this was a pack. I think this one is a different pack to this one. So Blackbird Designs. If someone recognises the name of this, oh, look at that. I love that piece. Pull that one out. Don't even mind that. I like that. Oh, they're rummaging around, those two dogs of mine, playing. Oh, we're neutral. That's good. Just pushes those big bold things back. Okay. And I don't mind that. Am I going to get too florally down low? So I'm still in the process of working out my panels down here. Should Bunny be on some grass? Bunny. Let's put some pins in Bunny. He's funny because you can do so much with him. He can be, my Bunny's going to be running full speed through the picture, which is typical me, running full speed through the picture. Where's my pins gone now? I can't believe we've spent 40 minutes so far. Pins, there they are. I really want to get Bunny stitched down and then I know where I'm heading. No, don't pin him down, pin him together. So then Bunny's portable. I guess Bunny doesn't have to go there. We could move him further along. He could be leaving the scene. I sort of feel like he is entering the scene, but okay. Oh, I've got a mess, These are going to be fantastic. These are going to be worked. I've only got 3. These are going to be worked into the flowers at the top somehow. So let's add them to the book clip. We'll deal with that another day, but I think we've got some morsels from finished projects. I'll leave this with me because I think I want to use those little bits to tie it all together. Okay. Do we want this piece? Probably not. I think we can do better, but we'll see. That rose needs to be seen, so let's not have Bunny's ears cover it. Maybe I pull that down. The further down it goes, the more, yeah, that's better. Instead of having, see, I had that shape coming down here at an angle. I'm going to head up. So it's going up here. I can see that rose, Bunny's ears. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm happy with that. So there's a start. Fabric. Should we put this under Bunny? I don't think it's the right colour. If the patch of that went in here, let's say we did it that size, how does Bunny look? I actually don't mind it. So everything's going to be turned edge, soft turned edge, so that will sit on that, which is good because then I don't have to turn that. This will come over the top of that patch. I don't mind doing, say, this side like so, and just finger press it. I don't mind that because I wouldn't mind seeing a soft turned edge on that piece. And this one. I don't know. Let's audition some others. I just don't know if that's the right colour. Isn't colour funny? Let's have a look at some of these other scraps. Let's say it's this one. Oh gosh, we're getting bold now. Oh, hang on to your hats, kids. It's getting windy. This is the way to do it, but if you're doing a big piece or even little pieces, you have to audition, especially when you're doing morsels of everything from everywhere. You've got to be a little bit mindful of your colour palette and say that that patch goes there. You know, another thing we could consider is these red lines, we keep our design within it. It brings your print down. Well, that's not going to work because Bunny's legs have just, I like that. It gives him that contrast. Maybe that's what I've been struggling with. I've had Bunny sitting on these pale coloured tea towels. Then Bunny jumped into the tea. And now Bunny's like, I need to be on something bold. See, that's not right, that one. Oh, I like this one too. See, it's too blendy. I love the fabric, but I think we need it. Maybe we put a patch up here. No, we're going over the red lines, just as I said we weren't. Let me come down a bit. We're going to do a patch of fabric up here. Let me just tuck that under so I'm liking that size, nice and bold. Yep. These two at the moment aren't doing it. Chuck them back in the pot. I think this is a start. And then these two. Have I got enough flour? So I bought bigger pieces of this because I obviously love it, but maybe I use one of these as my lining. Hang on. Oh, hold the horses again, guys. Hold the horses. Inside the Susanna bag, you need a lining. Guys, look. That's my lining inside my bag. All right. That and that go with that project. And that, oh, great. I was wondering, and this just doesn't look right. There's no blue anywhere, so axe that. Okay, so let's have another look at these fabrics that I rejected and see if they work. And then if they don't, the pot's going away. No, it's too much. I feel like I need to maybe back it down a little bit. Don't mind that. Maybe use a smaller patch or something. Oh, look at that. No, I sort of feel like I've got enough red. That's so bold. No, I do like a good check. Sometimes it pays to have stripes and checks just to balance things out. I just glanced up to my TV on the wall, and isn't that strobing for you guys? Isn't that hard on the eyes? No, not the right colour. Oh, but then I don't mind it. Might be because they're the same design. Nope. Nope. Already got it represented in the green and the red. It is sometimes cool when you've got the same print in 3 different versions. No. Love that piece. Nope. Oh, little piece fell off. All right, morsel, you're going somewhere. Nope. See, that's the thing. Maybe I've got enough big. Here's another morsel, look. Oh, yep, you're going somewhere. Another little morsel. See, these are all patches from Hendricks. And it's just not quite right. It's very fresh. Nope. Nope. What else is under here? Nope. Nope. Morsel. Ooh, a little morsel. Alrighty, and we've still got these. Let's grab a pink morsel. I don't want to cut into them yet. Nope, I'll just grab a pink, a little bit of pink. So where are we at with these? Let's just get our little bits out of the way. A little bit. Let's decide about this and this, guys. I feel like design-wise, I've got this diagonal thing happening and I'm scooting up that direction. So I either, and this is a blank space, so I either come through here or, yeah, I've got to head in that direction, but I don't know, I sort of feel like I need to build here and leave this. My instinct is telling me leave it. So let's make ourselves a patch about so big. And it sits in there like so. And then this one. Now remember, these pieces I'm putting on are going to be quilted as if they are pieces of quilt that I've scavenged from a very old quilt, which I haven't. I sort of like that one, you know. This one feels a bit bright. It does pick up on that, but I don't know if I want to do too much of that and maybe save those tones for the flowers. And keep it quite moody down here, like it's meant to be the bottom tablecloth, or, yeah, I think this one's gone. You should see the mess on the carpet beside me. Now these little precious pieces, oh Bunny, do you want that? I like that. And then if that's needle turned like a patch, oh gosh, how cool. So remembering that piece would be prepped here in my hands by just finger pressing it, putting a little running stitch right around, invisible stitch, because you probably don't want to see. And then you come back to your piece once they're all done, lay them down into this pattern we've got here. So a photo would be, yeah, I love how that's not straight either. We're getting a bit of a whimsical feel. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, by all means, pin it at this point, turn all your little edges, and then come along with your pins and needle turn it as you go. It's up to you. There's no rules, remember? We can do what we want. And, you know, you pull little bits and techniques and from everyone and just find your style. I don't know what my style is. My style's collaging, I think. I love rummaging through random things and try and cohesively pull them together into something. I was sort of thinking I want this a little bit wonky. But I bet I don't. I bet I follow that straight line there. Yeah. Oh, I love it. See, even that there could come over his paw. Like, he doesn't have to be on top. No, by the time I turn it under his paws, back a bit. I love the soft edge it's giving. I've been doing raw edges and frays and, you know, bits. I like how this is a little bit open. It's not so full. See, things like that can just drape across, and oh, it's so good just to use these bits. Here we go. Don't overthink it, girl. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I do need to be mindful that I don't have wadding, but I think that will finish just before that needs wadding, so I have to be careful there. Might just make it, but all right. We have a plan. Bunny has found his home. Okay. All right, guys. What I might do now is I need to take a photo of this layout. Then I'm going to trim back the fabrics that will be used. I might do that now with this piece. There'll be a needle turned edge applied to all of the patches. Then they will be stitched onto the panel. I probably won't be back to show you all of that because, you know, I think you know where I'm heading with this. I think the next video when it pops up will be patches are on, bunnies on, let's talk flowers. The other thing I need to do before I get too carried away is stretch this piece out in its entirety and just have a look at what space is left for flowers. Is that going to work? But I think it will. That was under there somewhere, wasn't it? Probably should have taken a photo, but I haven't. I think it was higher, but that's all right. I can go have a look at the video. I like it there, so that's all good. So, Bunny, you just hop up there. I'm going to trim this guy back. How much is folded under there? Plenty. Sorry guys, you can't even see what I'm doing. I'm just trimming off the bottom of that big red piece. See, another morsel for another day. Yeah. And then that gets turned under. When I'm ready, I can remove that. Another thing you could do if you really wanted that quilted feel is you could put a piece of wadding under each of these. Now cut it a little bit smaller than the piece when it's turned. I'm not going to focus on straight edges too, guys. I'm going to try and get a little bit of a whoopiness to it. I think that'll make it feel a little bit like it's an old quilt being cut. I'm putting a few pins in because I want to move it to the end of the table once I finish filming and just have a look at its size, this bottom section. I'd hate to think that I've got too big, and that'll give me, you know, that overall view. This will look great with Hendricks the Hare sitting next to it, because it's all his fabrics. There's a new pattern out too, Hendricks Hare Co. And Co is the Facebook page if you haven't found it yet. It's a reindeer. Oh my goodness. I've got the pattern. It's burning a hole. I'm thinking Christmas. Could you imagine a big Christmas reindeer? So I'm thinking seriously of doing that. If you don't have the pattern, the duck, Scrappy Duck, that I use for my pins, he's part of that design group. He's beautiful. I love him. And I think I made the pattern 70% smaller or 50%. Oh, I better link the videos to Scrappy Duck. Have a look at that. If you go to Hendricks & Co, the Facebook group, I'll link that. You'll see everyone's creations. There's all sorts in there. There's cats and foxes and rabbits and ducks. I'll link the duck video series. Some nice Easter viewing for you. And now there is a reindeer in the range. He's just stunning. I was just looking at these fabrics. These is very much the style of which we'll do the flowers in the vase, I think. Like real scrolly. See these little flowers here? We can do images like that, I think. We'll set the tone for the piece. So now that I'm pinning, this is a good way of making sure that all of these places where fabrics tuck in under things, it works. That piece there is going to be too small, I think. By the time I turn it, see what I mean? That turned is going to be itty bitty, so no good. Rejected. I'm so pleased we can use this. When you only got one and you don't have all the fabrics, what more can you do with it other than add it to a morsel project? That's why if you ever see people's unfinished work, grab it, because you just never know. You work it into your pieces. It's beautiful. It's the rejected square. now has a home, and I'll be able to, this will be all quilted stitch. This, we can play. We can do some decorative stitching in there and it'll become a bit of a feature beside that pot. Love it. All right, I think we have achieved. See, this edge here might need to actually all come over a bit, because once that's turned, look at the time, I've gone way over. Doesn't matter. It's Easter. I'm not ready to go. I'm still percolating here on this project, so hang in there. This is a super duper long video. You guys didn't get a video, I think it's Saturday. I didn't put one up. And Friday. Or did I? I don't know. No, you did see Saturday. It's Friday you didn't get a video. Good Friday I didn't put a video up. So I'm just going to keep pinning because I just want to know that this is going to work before I just fits. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'll just pin that there. That's good. That'll just work. That little edge will go under. That's good. Now these little guys, they should still work. If I keep the edge very, very small, so I get maximum morsel. That must have been attached somewhere. Look, she's unpicked it, the lady that made that log cabin. I'll have to find out, because my neighbour, not my neighbour, my friend, her neighbour inherited all these pieces. Well, I don't know if the inherited is the right word. I have a feeling it was a lady who was no longer sewing. Now, if that lady is still around, which I think she might be, because I got the feeling it wasn't an inheritance type thing. It was just someone cleaning. Oh, I know, they were going into a nursing home and the family were cleaning everything out. I wonder if I can track her down. If I could track her down and get a photo of that sent to her, would she recognise it, or is there a story behind this quilt? Did it ever get made? Where's the quilt? Maybe the family have this quilt. So there's an opportunity there to potentially... I'm going to bring that one across there, I think. I have to do something here. Ow! I have to do something here too, don't we? Do some embroidery or... I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's an opportunity to get, when this is finished, get a photo to the family that this all came from. Can't decide about this piece because it's here. No, gone. That's it. Okay, bunny. Back down here with your crazy legs and your wild ears. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now let's just move the piece down a little bit. We're still going 10 minutes past. Gosh, the girl's out of control, isn't she? Let's just pin this little guy. Don't tip over, for goodness sakes. I haven't even layered lace in yet. Oh, how exciting. How exciting. Even that piece might be too small. Time we needle turn it. definitely going to have wonky edges. I love it. It's sort of giving it a softness instead of a very blocky square look by having that crooked little leg on that side. Leg, thinking rabbits now. Crooked edge. At least by pinning this to this degree, I'm getting a real feel for where the fabrics are laying. Then I can just work back through and take each piece off and do my stitching. I'll take a photo of this too. And I can use it as the thumbnail on the video. So I guess if I do that, then you guys will see right at the very beginning where we ended up, which doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like showing you the end of the story before you've seen the story or watched the movie. So how big will this be? Once that's turned, yeah, it'll be all right. Only need a little bit of this guy. By pre-stitching, like once that's all stitched down, you then got this little element. Oh, genius, Kathryn. Then sometimes you watch a YouTuber and there's just one little thing they do and it's like a penny drops for you. It's like, that's just going to save me some time. That's going to save me some struggling. I love how we're revisiting techniques too in the era of slow stitch that we all did back in the 90s, 80s, 70s, you know, and reinventing them a little bit and dragging them into this whimsical world of slow stitch. I love it. That's why I'm a bit of a fan of Mandy Patouli's and Sue and, oh, there's a heap of them out there that they're putting these books out that just, I don't know, it's like, I remember doing that, and then away you go. It might have been a technique you learnt at school. A classic was cathedral windows. I did a panel with Susanna in Vintage Sewing Technique series. And cathedral window was something I did at school, and we made a pillow out of it. And it was the ugliest thing and the most infuriating thing that I'd ever made at school, other than knitting a jumper. That was as boring as watching paint dry. Anyway, and then we knitted the jumper, and then she's like, now you're going to make a toy for your bed. So I did this big cat that was black and grey stripes. Once again, the most boring thing, just going round and round and round and round. But these cathedral windows, oh my goodness, the hours of work that went into it, and there was heaps of them on this cushion, and it was just ugly. Probably the fabrics didn't help me, and we sort of had to use what we had. You know, we didn't go out and buy fabrics for such projects. So it was like green and frog green, and I don't know, it's banished from my memory. Well, Susanna and I were brainstorming vintage sewing techniques, and I threw in cathedral windows. And I did a couple on a page, and I loved it. But it was my fabrics. Now I understand colour better and textile, you know, texture. And then I applied slow stitch to it, and oh, beautiful, beautiful. I would say Bunny will have some lace added into here. There'll be a layer of lace go over it, morsels of lace. Beautiful. And we've got our pocket. That needs to be, I could probably stitch through there to make that turn. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. And and I will catch you in the next 14 minutes past the hour. Look, the girl's getting out of control. It's Easter, it's holiday time. She just had to keep going. She really needed to get this formalized because Bunny was frustrating her. But get on the page, Bunny. Good. Not a lover of that little flower, so that'll disguise it with his little ears. There we go. Bunny's found his home. He's skipping through. Oh, goodness me. Crazy. And of course, if you just found me, that's the bunny pattern. That's what he was meant to be. I'm like, I just want his image. So I just took his pattern pieces and we made a flat version. We've got to do more with his ears. We've got to become a little bit more abstract. Maybe we put a pleat in him and I don't know. We're going to got to do something more to him. Maybe some pleated ears and rough him up a bit. Oh my goodness, he's gorgeous. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye and catch you in the next video. I'm not sure what's next. I'm just glancing to my calendar because I've got some pre-programmed videos in. So you guys, it's the 1st of April. We'll be kicking off Tuesday, tomorrow, with the calendar for Susanna's series, and it's April, the April calendar. All right, I'm going to leave you to it. See you later, guys. Bye.